Welcome back, my friends. Been a long time since I've done anything, but hopefully you'll enjoy this one. So what have we got? We've got this. And this is an old kit that I built about 10 years ago. My wife bought it for me. Ash body, maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard. As you can see, it's a classic Telecasters. I did mine in a sort of 60s look because that's what I prefer, even though it came, I think, originally with a black scratch plate. Things I've so far done to this, or did when I was building it, was, as I said, white scratch plate. I put Wilkinson pickups in it rather than those that came with the kit. And then a little bit later on, I also changed the bridge. I put one of these Wilkinson ones on, you know, that's the intonated ones, like that, by the way. So what are we doing to it? Well, first of all, I'm going to change the pickups. One thing is, unfortunately, this one is a bit microphonic, or very microphonic, let's say that. The other thing is, I've never really been a Tele lover. This is the first ever Tele that I ever owned, building this one. And as I say, my wife bought it for me as a kid to get me back into doing guitar building 10 years ago. So I'm more of a Strat player. So here's a sneak preview. Yes, that's a Nashville pickguard because it's got the space for the middle pickup. So that's my intention, is to put is to change this to a 3 pickup Nashville style Telecaster. Does anybody know why they're called Nashville? I'm presuming because Nashville session players would use them because they're probably pretty versatile, aren't they, instrument. And pickup wise, I've gone for these. These are Tone Rider Nashvilles. I went for the 50s set. I think they do a 60s set as well. The reason I went for the 50s set was I think that was billed as being more like a Tele, whereas the other one was more like a Strat. And the point is, I've got 2 Stratocasters, so I don't need another Strat as such, although I'm trying to get something that's closer to a Strat because that is what I'm keen on. But I still wanted to maintain the Tele difference, if that makes sense. So, Tele neck, Tele bridge, and then there's a Strat pickup for the middle. Finding a Nashville set's not easy, actually. Tone Riders are pretty good. They're reasonable cost as well. I've read some good reviews about them. I've never used them myself, so we'll see. That will be part of this. Because one of the problems is if you just stick a middle pickup in the middle, you have to really think about all of the phase and magnetic stuff and all the rest of it, because you can end up with stuff being out of phase when you don't want it out of phase, or in phase when you want it out of phase, blah, blah, blah. You can sort of get around that, and one of the ways that I've seen people do it, Guns and Guitars, Dan did a good example of this, is you can put actually just a phase switch in there so that you can, you know, find which works best for you and then just leave it at that sort of thing. And I did think about that, but then I thought, the hell with it. Why don't I just buy a set, because these were available. And I've heard, like I say, good things about Tone Rider, so I thought I'd give them a shot. So, that's the plan. Other things, I have bought a new plate. And if you can see that, can you see that? It's all a bit shiny, isn't it? It's a screwer. I.e. the switch is at an angle, which again, as a Strat player, it's one of the things that bugs me a bit with Teles, is that it doesn't quite feel right, so I was going to try that. And also, one of the things you'll notice from this is it's a top loader. Now, you hear all sorts of stuff about, you know, top loaders versus non-top loaders, sound-wise and all the rest of it. I'll leave that for the Greek geeks to go argue over. By the way, Jimmy Page's Tele that he used on Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 definitely was a top loader. You can't argue about the sound with that thing. Anyway, I have bought some ferrules, so I am going to try and actually make it string through, just because personally I prefer string through, I feel, and I was just going to do it anyway because it's a thing to do. So that's the plan. So obviously one of the things is I'm going to have to do some routing because of that, so we'll do that. Fit all the new electrics. Oh yeah, just to talk about the electrics, one of the things I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to have a 5-way switch rather than a 3-way switch because we'll be Strat style, but I'm going to put a push-pull on the tone, which will give the bridge on 7 sound Gilmore wiring, for those that know what that means. And effectively what that will give me is I can still have the Tele bridge and bridge and neck together sound, which you wouldn't get obviously with standard 5-position Strat style wiring, so that I don't lose one of the teletones. Essentially, that's the idea behind all of that. Hope all that works. Anyway, come along for the ride. So, taken the original scratch plate off, well, not the original, but the one I put on there at the build, and find that the neck fit on this doesn't quite work, which doesn't surprise me. I have a memory of widening this, and when I compare the two of them together, this is definitely had some work done on it. So, just going to fiddle that out, and then we'll have another look. So I've got the scratch plate now fitted. Could do with a bit more finagling as ever. Typically none of the screws quite line up, but I was just sort of expecting that, so I'll plug all of the screw holes and then redrill. I think that one does line up. That's about it. Bit tight around that as well, so I might just adjust that a little bit more. But we're there. But the main thing is I want to mark where the middle pickup's going to go, and then figure out my routing from that. One thing that you may have noticed with this body is it doesn't have like a lot of Teles have the route actually there. This one doesn't. So anyway, I'm going to end up routing, and then we'll figure out how to get the controls in. And I'll either extend the route to find the cable run or whatever. I mean, obviously, because it's all going to be hidden by this, so it's not too big a deal. But we'll figure that out a bit as we go. Right, so that gives me my my route. Probably going to do it freehand because I don't have a template for that these days. Anyway, that will be one of the jobs that we're coming up. So I found a P90 template, and I'm going to use that over the pickup. I might just have to slightly enlarge the edges, but the far ends, but that'll be okay. That'll give us at least that as a good start. And then I'm just going to put that on to protect the front of the guitar. I need to drop this by a couple of millimeters to accommodate the push-pull pop on the tone control. Anyway, so a little bit of routing to do. Normally I wouldn't put you through the pain of watching me solder, because I am far from very good at it. But I thought I'd do it today just purely to introduce you to the new workshop, additional workshop. Had a new shed built. That was one of the things that took me away from guitar building last year. So I've got a sort of general purpose bench with natural light, which is better, better ventilation. So you'll probably be seeing a bit more of this. So putting those ferrules in feels like we've crossed the line and started back to putting this all back together. So routed out that pocket. I used that P90 template because I had it, and to be honest, this isn't the lightest body in the world, so routing out a bit more. And as you can see, I did the extra channel to pick up the hole that runs from here right the way down into the control cavity. So we're all right there. So really, mostly now it's putting the electrics all back together in it and checking that all works. You join me just about to do a tap test. I've just put everything in. So this is my little bench amp that I use for this type of thing. Where are we? Let's try. Ooh. Neck only. Little bridge. Bridge only. Good grief. And pull that out, and I should now get neck and bridge, no middle. Put that one over, should get all three together. You probably won't want to see my wiring, but just for completeness, showing what's in. You may see this, and the reason I've done that is because the lugs on this switch were very small. I'm trying to get two wires in because I needed the wire that goes off to the switch back here to bring the neck pickup in alongside, always on. I just didn't think it was going to work, so I put a short little jumper, and then these two cables are joined there. And I'm about to now I've just checked it's all working. I'll obviously heat shrink that. But anyway, yeah, I think we're good to go. So now it's just putting everything back together. I actually finished this neck with Danish oil, which I quite like the feel of it now. When I was doing it, I was a bit panicked about it because it looked like it was just going to end up a sticky mess. Anyway, because this one was done a while ago, it's avoided having my little logo put on it, so that's what I'm about to try and do. I do this the easiest and cheapest way possible. I bought some paper for the printer that was these wet transfers, and as long as I can separate this, which I can normally do just with that, there we go. There we go. So it's now got my logo on it. Right, see what it sounds like. It's only through the rubbish amp on the desk, but that's the bridge on its own. It's got that Tele spank, hasn't it? Let's go to the neck. Ooh. I like that. I know it's not through the best amp in the world, obviously. Let's just put the middle pickup on its own. Ooh. Nice. So first impressions is that the pickups are very good. These tone risers, obviously, definitely the middle pickup needs to be raised. I'm not filled with anything yet, so let's go for the in-betweens. This is neck and middle. Definitely Stratty spank there. Oh, and more so there because that's obviously with the bridge. And obviously with this, because I set it this, that's bridge on its own, and pull that out. bridge and necks together. And we get all three together as well. Not sound I ever use, I don't think, but anyway. Useful to have them. Given I was doing it, it was worth putting that on. Brilliant. I'll do a better demo later. So here we are, a quick sound demo. Just on initial impressions, very pleased with these Tone Rider pickups. Anyway, just quickly clean. This is the neck. Which I like. It's very fits that sound. Excellent. Let's just do the middle on its own, which is very stratty. So gives that extra sound, and the bridge has got some kick to it. Both the in-between sounds are really, well, the neck and the middle together is really good. And then you get a bit more spank, obviously, with the bridge. And then, like I said, I put the 7 sound on there, so pull on that. That's bridge and neck together. Just for completeness then, this is all 3. Which is a sound I don't often use, to be honest. But yeah, quite like it. And I can see with the, let's kick myself onto the drive channel on my Hughes & Kettner. I'm using a Hughes & Kettner Statesman Dual 6L6 at the moment for this demo. Really nice. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. So there you go. My Tele Kit to Nashville conversion. Tone Rider pickups, I'm very impressed with the first impressions. I think they really sound nice. Just one little thing that I thought was a really nice touch, because it's a 50s set. I don't know if they do this on all Tele net pickups, but they supply both the machine screws if you're using a sort of more contemporary scratch plate like I have, or the wood screws if you're using the old 50s style where you're screwing directly into the wood underneath the pickguard. But the fact that you get both screws with the pickup I thought was really, really nice. And given the price of the set, I thoroughly recommend these without a doubt. So if you're like me, a Strat player who has never really got on with Teles, maybe it's the thing to go for. I've quite enjoyed doing this. So I've turned it into this Tele, into this Nashville, 5-position switch. No, the slanted switch thing, I don't know, but given I was putting a new plate on it, why not? It's now converted to string through. Really don't know if I can tell any difference sound-wise, but then of course obviously I'll put new pickups on it, so it would be difficult. But pleased with that anyway, and I've got the option, I can always go string, I can always go top loader or mix if I wanted to. So that's the end of my Telecaster to Nashville Tele conversion video. Thanks very much for watching. you.